Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Now there's one thing I really enjoy, and that's some controversy when it comes to Grand Cross. You don't know, man, I was on Twitter and stuff talking about how pretty much JP and KR community really hate the AOT units because, again, they are garbage. Well, not garbage, but they definitely don't compare to pretty much 2023 characters. Because, again, how could they, you know? How could they? So we were wondering, like, to ourselves, like, yo, why would they release a collab where pretty much these characters, like, feel like they made in, like, 2021, okay? These characters feel like they made in 2021, and they are releasing these characters on a celebration with Attack on Titan, which a lot of players was very excited to see finally being rerun. And here are the buffs, man, that they are going for. First of all, we got Aaron Yeager. All right, this man got 110% instead of that poopy 80%, because again, no characters have less than 100% crit chance in today's time. Who would have guessed? And then he has his Holy Relic, which humans and giants allies use a single target skill to disable 30% of enemy crit resistance. Now it's gonna be giants as well, which I guess is cool. It's not like giants. If you're gonna run a full team of giants, it's not like any giant really does damage critting. Okay, like what are we gonna see? Matrona crit. Adjusting special moves value adds a 2% critical probability increase to yourself for 100 turn. Wait, is this 100 turn? They ain't 100 turns. I think they made 100% crit chance or something like that. Yeah, 100 crit chance. Golly, Google Translate. Dealing 340% and now doing 550%. Yo, I think, yo, if I'm not mistaken, this ultimate still sucks. Nah, I mean, I guess it's really decent, but yo, the main thing with Aaron is that, like, he needs base stats from his allies being alive. So if this man ults you by himself, he still does no damage. GG. And then we have Levi. It said, okay, so increase the critical probability to now 10% up to 7 times. So pretty much gonna make it a lot easier for him to crit if the enemy has like a debuff effect on him, which again, that wasn't his issue. Adds a 2% rate to yourself for 100% chance, giving all enemies 550% penetration damage. Wow. Now, you want my honest opinion on these characters? I will probably address that later on, but I can tell you right now from reading a lot of JP and KR community posts, these buffs wasn't the problem. Okay, the things they listed right here aren't the problem. The problem with the Attack on Titan characters are going to be the kits, stuff like that. Again, because these characters are buff reliant, and I'm gonna go into that even further alongside the video. Play a little bit PvP just to show you guys hands-on these characters with the buffs, so you guys can realize how trash these buffs really are. Again, I know it sounds pretty nice, you know, reading and stuff like that. You're like, oh my god, it sounds pretty cool, but you have to play these characters in practice, okay? And current and meta, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not thinking about the future, so maybe in the future these characters might be actually really good. I'm talking about current meta to make me want to summon, because these characters ain't coming back in the future. These characters are here right now, so I want these characters to be good right now on the current meta. I don't care if they get outdated sooner or later. I care about me be able to have fun with these characters. All right, so let's first address, you know, Aaron. Now, the one thing you probably can see on the screen, that his passive for every giant or human ally present in the field, increase the unit's base stat by 10% and stuff like that. Now, the real issue with most of these Attack on Titan characters and stuff is that they are so reliant on buffs to pretty much work for the most part. Like, he has this one thing where it's like when the unit attacks on an enemy with buff, apply increased damage by 30% per buff applied to an enemy. So pretty much his main damage dealing is going to be applying for characters who can spam a lot of buffs. So these are going to be teams like that has like Nanashi and stuff like that, maybe even Lost Vein. But the thing is that most of the time in PP, you're probably going to be facing Demon King. And with the Demon King team, they only have really one buff. That's that damage reduction from Demon King. So his damage is going to be absolutely terrible. And the one issue that I take the most offense to, if you guys can still see the passive on the screen, he has this one thing where it's like, It said add additional 20% attack related stat boost when an ally attacks an enemy with a dominant attribute. Sir, a dominant attribute in a meta where most players are rocking light and dark units. If you can see on the far right corner of the PvP screen, there's no dominant attribute for light and dark characters. And the freaking Demon King team has 2 dark units. 2 of them. So that means that passive is pretty much useless unless they're gonna make way better non-dark and light attribute characters. So that means they're gonna have to make characters who are like tier level to pretty much for Aaron to actually work. Like what the and I already know like a lot of people probably be thinking to themselves like, yo, I'm really like the AOT collab units don't have to be broken or stuff like that, or collab units don't have to be really good and competing in meta. And sir, you are absolutely hoping. You are wrong. These characters have to absolutely be fantastic, especially because the thing with collabs is that these are supposed to be the most hype events possible to pretty much bring the game life and bring more people eyes onto the game to pretty much want to play the game. If these characters suck, then these characters are gonna just not get no sales. People are not going to try to play Grand Cross, which means less people are going to be interested in playing it. And you're back to square one where you just still have the same niche fan base that want to play Grand Cross. And no one is really summoned on the AOT collab banner because these characters suck. The same thing with festivals. Festivals are supposed to be meant for people to get excited for the game, make people want to re-download the game, try to get that community built even further. That's the whole point. But when you add characters who are sucky, who are trash, then no one is going to want to play. Like, and the thing is making it worse that they didn't even give us a new boss raid. Like, these are still the same bosses, the same reskin stuff. Like, the Colossal raid is something that would happen 3 years ago. So it's not like they gave us something like brand new or anything like that. It's the same thing. So you would have thought like maybe they'll try to maybe fix transformations and stuff like that, work on that whole little kit thing, so we can finally see the transformation gimmick be introduced throughout the game further on. But it seems like with transformation, it's pretty much a dead idea. Once I seen Philo, who is a transformation character in Shield Hero, I just thought to myself like, yeah, they are going to be really done with transformations, because again, transformations in this game has always been really hard because it always requires you to pretty much go for your ult gauge at maximum to ult to transform, which was a very, very hard thing to do in the game, because again, like getting 5 gauge is not very easy. Like no matter how strong your team is, getting 5 gauge is almost impossible unless you're doing a very ult reliant team. And by that time, the ultimate you really want to go for are ultimates that are going to one-shot. So it's like, why would I waste it on just to transform if it's not gonna make me good? Because again, these characters, again, because they're so buff reliant, if you face like enemies who start to lose their buffs or have no buffs at all, you can really just see how like dog water these characters are in hindsight. Like you can probably see right now, I'm probably getting absolutely blasted because he's not getting no buffs anymore. So that means Aaron pretty much does nothing, and that dominant attribute thing does nothing for me because again, Aaron, no one has a dominant attribute to freaking light and dark. So it's like that passive is nothing anymore. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Like I guess it's cool with it was a cool idea for this Aaron, but like his damage isn't like on par. Like, and I already know people are gonna be like, yo, I'm really like, these characters just a regular character. These are not festivals, so they don't have to be really, really good. Bruh, stop coping and making excuses for Never Bravo. That thing, that doesn't exist anymore. When you get characters like freaking tier, Philo, God tier support like Nanashi, bro, those ideas doesn't exist anymore. Never Bravo can make any character really, really good. All it takes is effort on trying to test out the characters. The only reason why tier is probably super broken because they probably haven't tested these characters out at all. And that'd be the main issue with most players, that they be feeling like, yo, Never, are you really testing out these characters? Because again, these characters are coming out either mediocre or broken. There's no in between. It's either they're mediocre and it's a mega skip, or they're broken and then it's power creep all over again. So it's like, bro, are you actually putting effort into this game, or is it just like you're just going for long with the ride? Because we still haven't gotten no Ragnarok chapter. That has been delayed since last 2 months and stuff like that. We haven't gotten catastrophe story since, I think, what was it, February? That Roxy came out in February or March. Probably was April. I'm probably giving like a high date, but it probably was like April, like 3 months ago. Like, bro, what is they doing? Like, it must be something huge that they are really planning for the game, because ain't no way they just releasing these half-baked updates, bro. There's the same old copy and paste Attack on Titan that was from the beginning, from the season 1. So they didn't give us anything really brand new. All they did was give us like 2 new characters, which aren't technically new characters because they're the same freaking characters from last time. This ain't like what we had like with freaking what was it ReZero, where you had new characters like Echidna and Reinhardt. Like, a lot of people wanted different characters, like something like Armin, Hanji, just something new. Not the same old reskin characters that you probably didn't even take that much effort into making, really. You probably just gave them a different face shape and just made like some cosmetics for. But now we on Levi. Again, Levi has the same issue as well, where he pretty much needs the characters or enemy to have buffs and stuff like that. Again, he does have an infect, which again is really good, and he does do damage with debuffs and stuff like that, where he can crit more. They buff that, but again, he's a character who also requires to pretty much need buffs. Pretty much work really well. Again, you could compensate that with the infect, but again, like Rudius does the same thing. If the only thing you care about is the infect, Rudius can do the same thing because he is an infect AoE human character. So it's not like it's something special with Levi just because he can infect guys. Again, you're only really looking for is him applying his one main passive to pretty much lower the enemy crit resist. But things like crit resist and crit defense if they have like a buff. But again, they have to have a buff for that to happen. So if they don't have the buff, then Levi Pass is absolutely useless. And there's also the one thing where he has that proof of defense, which again, it is really good. The proof of defense is actually really good, but it only lasts 2 turns. And in today's meta, because everybody is rocking Demon King, you're most likely going to see dodge food present in a lot of teams, which makes that 2 turns feel like very less of time, because again, you're missing out on one attack, and that one attack against the Demon King could be very needed, because again, Demon King teams are super tanky with all that damage reduction, and then you even have Cusack in the back who can lower the enemy's crit chance and crit damage as well, which again, Levi, Escanor, or human team are all crit based characters, so having that lower on crit damage is pretty sucky. As you can see right now, I'm facing a team without any buffs. So you guys can already know what's about to happen. I'm going to get absolutely demolished because again, none of these characters have buffs. So that means Levi passive doesn't exist. That is the problem. They didn't need a stat adjustment or anything for their cards or anything like that, because their whole kit is absolutely trash. It's super outdated because again, you are relying on buffs. Are you guys gonna tell me that buffs are going to be forever a thing in this game? That's going to be the main meta, buffs? If you can confidently tell me that right now in the comments that buffs are going to be forever used in this game, then I will admit that I am wrong and that Levi is actually broken. But if you can't admit that freaking buffs will be forever in this game, then these characters suck. And that's the problem. These characters suck. They're supposed to be characters that will make you want to play the goddamn game, but for most people, this is just like a trophy unit most likely. Like if you really like AOT, then yeah, you're gonna probably summon on this new AOT banner. But for most players, they're gonna see this and be like, ew. And again, I already know some people gonna be like, yo, but I love it when I can skip a character, stuff like that. This is a collab. This is a special celebration. Why are we trying to skip a character? You should be throbbing in the mouth that you can't summon for these characters because they're so good. That's what it should be. You should be throbbing in the mouth that you can't summon for these characters because they're so good. Like, this should be like freaking ReZero all over again, where you see Reinhardt destroying the meta, Echidna's destroying the meta, and you're just sitting there like, should I summon or wait for a festival? I summon or wait for the festival. That's how I should be feeling. Make you want to keep playing the game, or make you want to summon for these characters. Because again, you could get free multis in the game for this banner if you participate in some of the events. But if the characters are already mid and trash, why would you play the events? Why? Like, you know how hard it is for people to... You know how many times people tell me that, yeah, Marilli, all I do is just log in and do PvP. You know? Just do my dailies. Just do my dailies. That's it. I don't really play. That's literally how they'd be in the comments. Like, yeah, I don't really play. I just do my dailies. But people want to be like, yo, it's very good that we can skip. Like, bro, how many gems do you goddamn need? Like, what are you gonna skip for? You know, I guess there's not gonna be an LR coming soon. Like, what are we skipping for? The next fest? It's probably gonna be coming out what? Is it next fest coming out in September? Or is it October maybe? It might be October that next fest is coming out. Like, bro, like, you don't even know the future. Like, if people like, yeah, I'm just skipping for the fest or something I might need. Like, what? We getting back-to-back Matrona. We got freaking green Matrona coming out. And then we got leaks on a new Elaine coming out. What are you skipping for? Ragnarok? They ain't making Ragnarok in forever. Actually, they actually might make a Ragnarok pretty soon. Because they probably working on the raid. So after everything is done with the lane banner, they probably gonna announce a new Demonic Beast raid, Ragnarok chapter, and then a new LR character at the same time. So I guess expect that maybe. But I mean, people told me that the new AOT units might be good in Guild Wars. That's cool. If you the 1% of players who actually enjoy Guild Wars, AOT units might be actually really good for it, you know. or you got Mikasa, who's good in Guild Boss, boys. Or Red Demon, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Red Demon. Oh my God, Mikasa gonna go strip. Yeah, I mean, people are still gonna probably complain about these AOT buffs because again, they buffed them minimal. So it'd be kind of hilarious to see that Nemrod was gonna get even more backlash. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, and hear an old man ramble about how trash collab characters are. This really got some out. Peace.